Assistant here, call to order. Portsmouth Development and Housing Authority, PRHA Board of Commissions meetings are held at the third of each month at 5 p.m. All meetings are conducted at PRHA Main Office, 3116 South Street, Portsmouth, Virginia 23707, unless otherwise noted. All members of the public are welcome to attend. We'll now call to order.
Commissioner Cost,
Here.
Commissioner Morgan,
Here.
Commissioner Pickens,
Here.
Vice Chair Prince.
Here.
We have a quorum.
In the future, shouldn't we call all of them so that we note who's not here?
Okay,
If not by silence.
okay, Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Wicks. And Chair Wright.
And I believe Chair White should be here, or is expected to be here within the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
Approval of the commissioners' meetings from June 20th, 24. Everybody should have gotten a copy of that. Are there any questions or concerns on that? Yes, sir. I need a motion.
I'm going to approve.
I'll
second the approval.
We have a second by Commissioner Pickens and a motion by Commissioner Cost.
Commissioner Cost. Commissioner Morgan.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks. Commissioner Williams. Vice Chair Prince
Yes.
and Chair Wright.
Chair remarks, I'd like to defer that till towards the end, if I may. Everybody's okay with that? Councilman liaison remarks.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
evening.
I haven't been to the last meeting. I think that was canceled. Before that, I think I was scheduled doing something else, but we have been busy the last couple of months with finally going the budget a couple of months ago, and now we are gearing up to hopefully do a retreat soon with our member of council, with our new city manager. He's done a job with that, so new now, but 90 days in. And so really trying to get a lot of things straight within City Hall that's kind of been broken for some time. We are expected to vote this week on honorary street name policy. Nothing too big. And then as we enter into the fall months, things will get more complex. But right now, I'm enjoying things being calm and collected. And so, of course, public safety still is a concern for many people. You did a great presentation at the last city council meeting about what PRHA is doing with our youth programs, making sure kids and our youth and our children that are living in PRHA properties are afforded opportunities. I think that each one is a big help to helping us to achieve the overall goal. We are bringing back Rock the Block, which starts next Wednesday, matter of fact. So we will be working in Prentice Park for the first week, trying to knock on doors, get issues in the community resolved, cleaning up the street, branches, debris, lighting, any complaints that people in the community may have. We're trying to address those while we're there. And each week we'll be going to a different neighborhood for the next 6 weeks until we hit many other neighborhoods. But we are starting with our more our neighborhoods that are in more need of things right now. And then we'll progress to other neighborhoods as we continue. But trying to get that done, and also just trying to do some beautification projects just to make our city look a little bit more pleasing to the eye. So, but that's pretty much all I have right now.
As a citizen, if I may make a statement,
Yes.
I've been trying to get Parkview paved for several years. I've been there for 18 now. It's a semi-major bus route, at least from Elm to Crawford, and those who've got a school there, those two streets, if nothing else, need to be on that beautification. We've got crepe myrtles that are, looks like a third world country. And Crawford in particular, where the bus comes through, that little section between Webster and Crawford, it needs some help.
Yeah, be sure to send me an email there. And like I said, when people are sitting as these type of issues, I will say they are getting addressed in a timely manner. That's been one priority of Mr. Carter is beautification. And so I've seen quite a few different areas throughout the city that have been dilapidated for a while and looked out of control, and they're getting cleaned up pretty quickly. But there's also an app that the city has called Portsmouth Connect. So you download it on your phone. You're able to go in there and take pictures of exactly where you're talking about, and it sends it to the 311 help desk, and it directs it to the right department, and it keeps you updated on the progress of that issue. And it can be anything from a broken street light to a pothole to branches to a curb to even a gutter being full of trash. And then they'll walk you through the process until it's completed. So it's called Portsmouth Connect.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or concerns for our liaison? Executive Director, Ms.
Yes. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I have a few updates. Let me start with my most pressing issue, which is the AC units in our properties. We have several AC units that are out, and this is due to the extreme heat that we've had and just the units working at overdrive. And we're doing our best to get them repaired or replaced. And, some delays are due to several factors such as staffing issues. We are down maintenance staff. We've reached out to several contractors. They're limited in their staffing, and there are delays with them coming out for 2 to 3 weeks on the properties as well. But those units that do not have AC or working ACU, we have provided them window units until we're able to get their centralized air working. So all of them have been provided window units as well. Dale Homes presents a more difficult issue because there's geothermal technology. And so not everyone can work on those units. There's only maybe 2 contractors that we know in this area that can work on the geothermal technology. And one of them will be out here on the property next week to assist us with that. Just a couple of other things that we're doing in addition to providing the window unit. So depending on the size of the unit, depending on whether they get 1 or 2 AC units. We have also opened up our community centers. So residents can go there during the day if they want to cool off, if the window units aren't doing enough for them. Then they can also go into our community rooms. We are prioritizing repairs of the units with our elderly and those that have medical conditions. So they will receive first priority for repair or replacement of units. Although the manager have been, letting the residents know about the status of the AC units, we're going to have a meeting on Monday with the residents who don't have AC, just to reemphasize what we are doing currently, and so that they understand that we're putting forth all efforts to get their ACs back up and running. I have also required mandatory overtime for our maintenance. I do have limited staff, but they're required to work after hours and on weekends to address the AC units as well. We're continuously looking for contractors, additional contractors. Again, a lot of them, it's a staffing issue, and they're letting us know that they can't come out 2 to 3 weeks from now, and some don't work on multifamily properties. So that's also been a little challenge.
Quick question in regards to contractors. Because this is brought up to me by a few people on Facebook. What is our status in regards to contracting with ex-felons? And I haven't read the site, but there was I've been sent a few things in regards to getting grants to put ex-felons, low registered felons on, payroll and having grants for that.
If they're trained, they can go through because they still have to be certified in order to
Right.
work on HVAC. So if they have HVAC training, then we will consider felons. We have always considered, felons, when we hire personnel. And so that is something that we'll review. And so we have someone, I don't want them to be discouraged if they're
Right.
trained to not put in the application, because we will take a look at that.
Okay.
And
But I have a question.
sure.
So, we've been receiving a lot of complaints in regards to that. If a person is their AC is broken and they're trying to get a window unit and there's a delay in people coming to install it. The question I'm getting are they allowed to go out and buy one, say the receipt, and install it, or do they have been installed by one of your maintenance people?
I'm not familiar with any delays with getting window units. Are you, Ms. Jenkins?
No,
that's,
we keep them on site, and then when we don't have any, we don't get them.
Gotcha.
As Mrs. Winston spoke, every person that does not have a working AC
Mhm.
have a window unit. Some of them have two.
And that's based on the size of the.
yes. And, we install them. And so you don't have to go HVAC certified and install those. So any of our maintenance staff install them.
Now, another one was somebody complained about only getting one.
Mhm.
If they desire to have an additional unit, are they able to go first and install it themselves?
Yes.
I think I got the same email you got, but the question was, if we pay for it?
Yeah.
Versus, and
So,
I think it depends on the BTUs and the size of the,
yes.
You also need to look at that because if it's installed incorrectly,
Well, we're just talking window units.
before we put it in, we need to contact the rental office.
Yeah.
So make this be checked.
Gotcha.
Because, besides, sometimes they need to be secure,
Yeah.
so we don't want it to fall over that way.
I've also reached out to the city manager, to ask if they had any workforce that we could borrow. And we would cover the cost if they come on our properties. They're taking that up now with legal to see, if any liability, would we expose them to any liability by doing that. So I have not received a response back, as well on that. So, we're working, we're reaching out and we're exhausting all options, to get the units back up and running. We know it's hot. And so we're sympathetic to their needs. And so we're gonna do the best that, we can to get them up and running.
and on that note, I think it's important, although it's not gonna be taken like it's stated, but both Virginia law and HUD states that we are responsible for heat, but not necessarily for air.
Mhm.
Although HUD does state that if we supply air, if I'm not mistaken, it needs to be working
Correct.
condition. But I think it's just important for individuals to know that. Because I think that a lot of the emails and questions I've gotten is, we need to supply this and this is a part of, what we're paying for. And, by law, it actually isn't. However, if we do supply, it needs to be up and running.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions on the AC? I provided you with a flyer for Portsmouth Connect Fest. They reached out to me, Portsmouth at Work, and they're going to hold a series of community events, and one of them will be in Dale Homes in the open field by the playground on August the 7th. So the employment opportunities will be there, local, community organizations and providing resources to the residents and letting them know what's available to them. For this is in partnership also with the police department and Portsmouth at Work. And we're also going to be providing school supplies. There are plenty of activities for the children, and the police department will bring their command bus as well. One of the things that I found out about, actually at a meeting with the city this week, was information regarding the TCC Skills Training Academy. And they have a series of open houses they're gonna be holding over the next few weeks, and so I do plan to attend that event. But I found out that TCC will offer specialized trainings for employers. And so that could be an opportunity for us to work with TCC and work with the students who have been trained in electrical, plumbing, HVAC. And then we could assist them with employment opportunities after. So I think it's a good way to grow our workforce as well, so. As Councilman Tillage mentioned, we did a presentation at the work session for City Council on the resident services and programs that we have available for our residents of our properties as well as our HCB participants. I think it went very well. We're able to educate the council, educate the citizens of Portsmouth and just citizens in the community who really weren't sure what we did here at the authority. So I think it was an excellent opportunity. I actually received numerous calls after that, commending us on what we're doing in the community.
I think you did a wonderful job. I watched it yesterday.
Well, thank you. And a copy of that presentation was also emailed. Board retreat. We need to pick a date. I'm looking at October the 26th, and so I want you to look at your calendars. You don't have to now, but if you can look at your calendars and let me know by next week, next Friday, if that works for you for board retreat. And we'll send out a reminder email to you. So let's look at the 26th of October, and hopefully that will work with everybody.
And unless there's an issue with everybody else, I think instead of, I mean, obviously we would like to get the seven or eight of us that are here. But I think 5 would be a decent number to represent the board. So that we can at least decrease that number so that, you know, if we get a general consensus on, you know, at least 5.
Right.
Is there an issue with that for any of you guys?
I was also reminded by this city that you all appointed board members are required to take FOIA and COIR training. You all probably know what FOIA is, Freedom of Information Act, and a Conflict of Interest Act training every 2 years. And so there is a free online training on the Virginia Municipal League, and I will share with you information on how you can take that training over the next couple of weeks, okay? And reminder, we have the Virginia BOC, Virginia Association of Housing and Community Development Officials. Will be sponsoring a Board of Commissioner training on July the 23rd. That is next week from 10 to noon. So if you can attend, I think we've got registration for most of you all. If we have it and you can attend, please let Tracy know so we can get you registered. And you will receive a link the day before. It's the day
We'll
before.
have 5.
Okay,
They're gonna receive the link tonight.
okay, so they'll receive.
So the only 2 that we're missing is Vice Chair Prince
Okay,
and Commissioner.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You are one of 2 that we're missing
For,
for the training.
I don't believe I got the link, but,
No, you didn't. I'm sending it after the meeting.
okay.
Yeah, so that's the information we
Right.
have to fill out.
Second one with Delphine.
yeah.
Yes, I got yours.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Pickens.
And lastly, but certainly not least, I would like to introduce our new procurement manager, Ms. Yolanda Buck. You want to say anything?
Hello, welcome.
She comes to us with a wealth of experience and we're glad to have her. She's been working in procurement for many, many years.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. I'm
Good evening.
I'm excited about being here at the Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority. I've been working in procurement since 1978. I retired as the purchasing director from Virginia State University in 2016. And so I'm here working in somewhat of a part-time position here as your purchasing manager, and I'm looking forward to what I can bring to the table. Pleasure meeting you all.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
That's all we have.
Any questions for our executive director? Board members? And before I go to unfinished business, just for the record, our chair is here. However, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up since I took it. All right, was there any unfinished business?
Yeah.
Action items.
Have to.
We have resolution 2024-15, public housing.
Good evening.
Good evening.
These are the write-offs for the public housing, so we are requesting approval to write off 22 delinquent accounts totaling $16,700. Of this amount, $9,911 is rent, $2,232 is excess utility, and $4,559 in miscellaneous charges, which are due from former residents who have not lived in the authority's low rent public housing for a period of at least 6 months or who are deceased. Since January 1st, 2024, the staff have collected a total of $2,161.28 from the public housing developments for in-house collections and set-off debts. The writing off of these accounts receivables will no way preclude our continued efforts to collect monies owed to the authorities.
And how long were the attempts to recoup prior to this?
These are residents that have moved out,
Okay.
which we do set off debt. So it goes on their accounts. And actually, this is much lower than the last time I wrote off the public housing, if you all remember.
Oh, you remember?
I mean, how long do they take to?
Well, I mean, was there,
They try to-
how long for the recoup effort?
Well, how
It's
fast,
contingent.
how soon do you start after they move out?
We wait at least until they do the security deposit, and then we do the debt over.
Okay.
Because you're required 45 days to refund security deposit, then after that, we can do the debt over,
About 4 months.
up to 2 months.
Any questions on this resolution?
The next one, you want to tell me, that's all.
I think we'll put them together, can't we?
Let's
Do
do
I have to have two
that.
sections?
I mean, the introduction of both of them together.
Both separate.
Right, both sides.
Oh, okay. I need a motion to accept 2024-15.
So,
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pickens, second by Chair White.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
yes.
Commissioner Wicks.
I think at this point, you can just go ahead with the people that are
Okay,
here.
thank you. Vice Chair Prince
Yes.
and Chair Wright.
Yes.
That passes. We have a resolution for 2024-16 to write off collectible resident account receivable assistant housing.
Okay, we are requesting approval to write off 33 delinquent accounts totaling $113,184, which is less than last time. Of this amount reflects $76,543 in rent, $352 in utilities, $36,289 in miscellaneous charges, which are due from former residents who have not lived in the authority's assisted housing for a period of at least 6 months or who are deceased. Since January 1st, 2024, staff have collected a total of $6,089 from in-house collections and set-off debt. The writing off of these accounts receivables will in no way preclude our continued efforts to collect monies owed to the authority.
Any questions or concerns on 16?
I got one, just for Hamilton too, the rents was only 500, but other charges were 23,000. What would be the other
Without
charge?
charges. They should have, these are plate cabinets and one of them.
Oh, wow, okay.
Mhm.
I was going to say 23,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
No other questions? I need a motion.
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve from Chair Wright and a second from Commissioner Cost.
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Vice Chair Prince,
Yes.
Chair Wright.
Yes.
I'd like to back up for a minute if I can to covering chair remarks. you had missed, the conversation in regards to, air conditioning, being out for at least 25 units. Um, what I'd like to share, take a general consensus of, I think that that would fall under, a critical issue where, you know, life or death potentially could be there, lawsuits, that type of thing. And I think that the board, even though we're not here for, staffing issues per se, but I think that would fall under a critical issue that should come to the board, especially considering some of the complaints came from April. We don't know the full story, obviously, but I'm just going off of some of the emails that obviously, Councilman Intelligent and I have also received. But I think that, we need to review what potential critical issues may be, even if it looks like going back and that this might be for you, our law, our bylaws or resolution, but just that we need to be informed of certain things. Lawsuits being one, and again, whatever we deemed would be a critical issue. And if I can get a raise of hands, that would be something appropriate for the board to be aware of. It'd be appreciated. So, between us two, maybe coming up with something, individual emails, but I don't know if it would be a resolution or just back to the bylaws and changing those.
You know, if you could please kind of put a little more meat on the bones as far as, you know, kind of what you're discussing, because this.
I think that 25 to 50 units out, of several of our units, would be considered a critical issue. I've been confronted at least 5 times in the public and several times online. If it had been the news, I'm blindsided as a commissioner. And again, we're not staffing, but that's pretty significant. Lawsuits is another issue. Some of our finances, so obviously we're going to get that, but if there's something going on in the minute, I think that we need to be caught up, if nothing else but
Update.
a email, just to say, by the way, this is in the news, or this is coming down the pike. And I think that it needs to be confronted before one of us gets it via email or city council calling and saying, hey, what's going over there at HPC, or HPC, wrong commission, sorry. PRHA.
So what you're asking is that, Mrs. Winston, at a minimum, just notify us that there is an issue going on, that type thing.
Yeah, but I think that we need to
Such as like
define
the
what a
AC.
critical issue would be. We don't need to know everything, but a critical issue, and I think that, for me, it falls under a critical issue.
I think that's just more of just asking versus you don't need a resolution or anything for anything like that. So that would just be more of the communication between the executive director and just letting the board know, or those type situations. Because I'm sure she gets information from the city officials, and are you getting those, Ms. Winston?
No.
Okay, so then, yeah, we're just asking that we be made aware, if I'm understanding what you're asking.
I still think we need to clarify what a critical issue would be.
And for that, that would be a board policy. And the appropriate place to discuss those kinds of things may be at the board retreat, where you could begin to put together, you know, what you feel a critical issue would be, and also very clearly define which of those issues kind of, because it's a delicate balance, because you don't want to get too far into the day-to-day operations of the authority, which, you know, the executive director, CEO has, you know, the authority to address those particular issues. But it's as long as there's an understanding as far as, you know, what particular issues may need to be presented to the board. And also, board policy as far as if and when you do receive notification of certain issues, the appropriate time to just refer those individuals back to the executive director for resolution of those issues as well.
Correct.
So it's kind of a two-way street. And I think, you know, the retreat may be the appropriate time to discuss those.
And that's generally what we do. That's pretty much what we do.
That was it for me. Just wanted to make sure to get that. resolution. What page am I on here? I'm sorry. Closed.
17.
Resolution 2024-17, resolution convening a closed meeting of the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Authority Housing for public health, excuse me. 17 is personnel, isn't it?
It's only one to put intent. The other one,
This is Christine.
Since happened.
I need a motion.
it's personnel and development.
You say the same.
So we'll do development first and then we'll do personnel.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do development.
Mr. Tillage, you can stay for the development personnel, obviously.
Yeah.
That's okay. That'd be good. Listen.
Did we do the motion?
Not yet.
Oh,
Okay, I got it.
All right, I'll second that. We have a motion to accept from Chair Wright, and I'll second that.
Okay. Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Oh, wait,
Wait a minute.
We
sorry,
have that motion read on the record, please.
we're still on 17, correct?
yes.
Resolution 2024-17, resolution convening a closed meeting on the Portsmouth Redevelopment and Authority Housing Authority for development and personnel. We're going to take development first. That,
That's the whole thing.
Code section.
I move that this meeting reconvenes in closed session meeting for the purpose of personnel matters involving the discussion regarding performance and of employee of the authority or any public body as permitted by 2.2-3711A1 of the Act. Consultation with the legal counsel employed by the public body regarding specific legal matters regarding the provision of legal advice by such counsel as permitted by 2.2-3711A8 of the Act. A discussion or consideration of acquisition of real property for a public purpose or the disposition of public held real property where discussion is an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining positioning or negotiation strategy of the authority, specifically concerning property in Churchland pursuant of Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3. So we have to do another motion,
Come on.
and I will second that.
bench. Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Vice Chair Prince,
Yes,
and Chair Wright.
Yes.
thank you for noting that, sir.
Well,
We are now in closed session.